Well, thank you for having me here, first of all. I've been invited by Professor Manuel Marin to give a little bit of background of how I arrived at EADA and what I learned from this experience here, so thank you for having me. First of all, about myself, my name is Scott Mackin, and I'm originally from the US, kind of lived all over. Have most of my background in a sales and marketing experience, about 6.5 years of professional experience before coming to EADA. And completed my undergraduate degree in University of Colorado, focusing on communications and arts and sciences background. So really what I wanted to accomplish by coming to EADA was getting a much better understanding of business overall, to have a better overall business acumen and really a better background with the finance and some of the, I guess, the key aspects of why anybody really goes back to get their MBA. I didn't have too much of a coverage of that in my undergraduate degree, so I really wanted to have a feeling of what I can learn and the new skills I can possess to eventually open my own company one day. So I also knew that I wanted an international experience. My wife and I wanted to experience living in Spain, and coming to EADA offered that experience in the great city of Barcelona, and we were fortunate enough to get a place in the board and really had a wonderful year exploring the city and exploring the surrounding countries and cities throughout Europe. So that was an added bonus to coming to EADA. Let's see. I guess the first impression of EADA was somewhat overwhelming. You're trying to get your feet under you, and you're approached with about 100 other students in the same boat. You're interacting with many different cultures, and kind of getting back into the school routine all over again was somewhat of a challenge in its own. After about 6 years in between sitting in classrooms, it was quite difficult for the first maybe week or so to remember exactly how it is you learn in a classroom setting. So basically, some of the things that EADA challenges you on is the overall structure of the course. First of all, you do have your typical business studies, and those present their challenges as well. Finance was never my strong point, and of course, learning those fundamentals and those skills can be a challenge in its own. But actually, what I found most challenging was the structure of EADA's course methodology. Both the case method was new to me. I had never experienced a case method discussion before, which I find incredibly valuable to get everyone involved and really pushing the limits of where that conversation can go. But also the way the schedule was broken down, where 5 days a week you're in class for almost 4 hours, and every day you're focusing on a different subject, which it's unlike any other MBA or any other business program I'd looked into that is structured in such a way. I'm very much used to completing modules or classes in one sitting, so maybe going for a finance course and combining with marketing for 2 or 3 weeks until the course is done. This was changing every day into putting a new hat on and having to look at cases in the light of finance or marketing or strategy on a day-to-day basis, which was quite different and quite a challenge, which I definitely wasn't used to. Another major challenge and I would say accomplishment now is looking back and working with all these different cultures and personalities that come from around the world, come from EADA. I think the statistic is somewhere in 90% of the EADA class is international, and they're coming from outside of Spain. So you're really dealing with people and cultures from all over the world. And part of the things that you learn here is how to interact with all these different people, all these different cultures, and leadership skills when certain values and norms just don't agree across borders. I think those were incredible challenges that we had to face throughout the year. You're organized into these groups of 5 or 6 stable groups, and I believe they're purposefully done in order to really test the boundaries and the limits of groups and cultures that you've never worked with before. And so we were very fortunate to have a great group, and we created amazing bonds throughout the year. But of course there were struggles to create those bonds, and those were forged over many long nights, many unique challenges and discussions that aren't always, you don't always see eye to eye with people from different countries and different way of doing things. I think a big surprise also for me was the growth I experienced in my soft skills. I think a combination of working with all these different cultures and in EADA's facility in Kobato really gave you the opportunity to learn on these workshops about yourself and the things that you find important and you value and you want to achieve in your life, and also professionally how you can improve your leadership or negotiation skills. I think that was incredibly useful. I've actually never seen another MBA or business program have some sort of off-campus type facility like that, and so that was also something that provided immense value throughout the year, going to Kobato at least 6 times on overnight stays to really immerse yourself in the curriculum. I think was a huge value add for my personal and professional growth. So I think that was a very big surprise on the soft skills side, improving my communications and improving my leadership skills with different groups and different dynamics. And lastly, there's a big focus at EADA on developing yourself. They make sure that you set a plan at the beginning of the year and you track your progress. And this is through individual learning journals as well as peer mentoring with other students, and also professional mentoring with coaches and business professionals in the Barcelona community that come and meet with you on a monthly basis and really sit down with you and try to dig to the base of what you're feeling and where you want to go in your career and personally as well, and really trying to lay out a strategic outline of how to get there. But overall, the challenges were worth it, and I've actually been fortunate enough to land an internship here in Barcelona, and most recently, as of last week, I rolled over to full-time with a startup here in Barcelona and plan on staying indefinitely. So it was a success.